Oh, hey Archons. Welcome to another episode of KeyThoughts. You just caught me in my contemplation of this game of KeyForge, especially after the news that dropped last week that has shook the community in different ways. And this week, that is exactly what the topic is going to be about. So this week, what I plan on discussing is, first off, we're going to do the card of the week, followed by the fantastic segment of this week, which is going to be a heater. And then I'm going to wrap up the show with some news on a new KeyForge sale for all you degenerate deck hoarders out there, especially with the new news. There is something new in the mix in terms of getting some great deals on KeyForge through myself. So, with that being said, let's jump right into the card of the week. And this week, the card of the week is It's Not Finished With You, Alt Art. Yes, but it's not finished with you. For those of you not familiar with this card, it says play, shuffle any number of creatures from your discard pile into your deck. And this comes from one of my store leader decks that I have acquired most recently. And I've been playing this deck a lot lately because it's a really fun deck. And I never really appreciated this card until I had this particular deck, which is also something that's super cool about KeyForge, that you can get a certain deck that has a combination of cards that makes a card that you think maybe you don't spend too much time thinking about. Let's just say it's not essential to your strategy or the winning condition of your deck. But in this particular deck, Not Finished With You is quite essential. And in this deck, there is Triple Daughter, Double Ronnie, and Infernus. And what else do I throw back? Oh, and a Titan Guardian actually is one of the things. And the reason why I like this is because, well, the daughters don't stop. That's how this basically works. You kill my daughters, I will get them back. There's 3 of them. I generally will get out all 3 at some point, if not at least 2 consistently, because I'm not finished with you them back. And as it goes and goes and goes, it's really good. The great thing about having 3 not finished with you as well is that you're getting to cycle often. So even if your daughters are killed throughout the game, you're periodically getting a not finished with you, putting them back, getting them again, and then you're getting that draw power and that engine going to just draw. And then as the deck goes on, you also have the not finished with you doing fun things like, oh, there's only 5 cards left in the deck. I'm going to draw 3 cards this time. Let's throw in 2 Ronnies and Infernus, which is going to guarantee in the next 2 turns, I have an abundance of Ember control at my disposal. Your opponent knows this exists too, so you also have that threat, which is really nice. I really like that kind of almost like poker aspect, is like they know you have it, and it's a matter of how do they play around it, or do they just go for broke. So I really like the way Not Finished With You has been playing within this deck. It's probably one of my most fun decks, I find. Basically, anytime you can draw a ton of cards, it's going to be a lot of fun. And this deck does that in spades, of course. So that's the card of the week. Now, let's get into the topic of the week, where we have had an announcement of a new set reveal, along with the information that KeyForge is on hiatus because the algorithm is done broke. Well, let me just start off saying, folks, KeyForge is dead. Yeah, false. I do not feel that way. KeyForge is not dead. I actually think it would take a lot for KeyForge to die, in fact. I believe that we have a strength in community that is above and beyond any other game I've seen. There is a selflessness to a degree that people wish to keep this going in many different ways. I've already seen hints of people creating their own algorithms, shout out Sky Jedi, to make this a thing that we can still do. And I actually think this is probably gonna be my hottest take of this episode, is that I actually think as a community, if KeyForge for some reason FFG decided they weren't going to make it anymore, like actually stop in the future, I actually think as a community we could band together and have a community owned game, and we could keep the game running. I actually think that's possible. We could create our own sets. We have, I think, the resources between people in the community to make things work. And you may not know this, but in a lot of English games, and when I say English, I mean football, aka soccer for all y'all Americans out there. There are some community-owned teams where they own the whole team and they have the rights and things have to be gone by them. And it's happened in the past. And I think that KeyForge could actually be a game like that if we really decided to keep the game going. I also think that the nature of the way the game is, that there are so many decks out there, as you know, based on the fact that I got a bunch of mass mutation available last month, tons was bought out, that we have the ability to acquire product in a level like that and play in a sealed factor. So I don't think the game can die that easily. I think the community is strong enough and rich enough, both in resources of talent and also in desire to be a part of the game, that we can keep this going. Now, on to the actual news and the situation right now. The game going on hiatus, I think, is being done in a unique time. We're in a time when OP is not in full swing like it was in 2019. I feel like 2019 was a great year for KeyForge in the sense that we saw a lot of OP, a lot of things happened, a lot of great events in different ways. Like we saw primes for the first time, we were seeing store championships, we had grand championships, vault tours, like all the time, like nonstop. All that stuff was happening, so we got to see the true like strength of KeyForge. We just didn't get to do Worlds, which we still won't get to do next year either, it looks like. So why not go on a hiatus during this time? It's not in a time when the game is flourishing on an organized play level, and the reason it's being done is not because of some sort of like, oh, let's just like stop the game. It's no, they want to actually build up from the ground, get a good solid foundation. I have a feeling that the enhancements are part of what broke the algorithm. Just that aspect was just a lot to be incorporated. You can find out more about this sort of idea and thought. Sydney shares some great insight in Help from Future Self, which you will be able to listen to tomorrow. And it just made me think that, you know, let's get it done right. Let's incorporate this properly, like it's built into the system, and we'll probably maybe even get enhancements in an even greater way moving forward. I'm super excited that they're going to do this, and I think it's going to come back in a really great way that we will all be proud of. And I think that FFG is actually being responsible with this decision. I think continuing on to try and build a house that looks like the burrow from Harry Potter and the Weasleys, which is just this like, you know, built up, and it's just one thing on top of the other, and it looks like some sort of Frankenstein by the end of it, which could be the case right now, and why it had to be done in this manner, is not the way. I think that actually taking the time to do it right is the way. So I don't feel bad about this. I think that's a very responsible thing, and probably a very hard decision as a company, because there will be no doubt some players who choose to leave the game at this point. I also think that the game of SoulForge coming out during this time is going to be something that some players are going to leave and go there, because of the fact that you can combine houses in that game, unlike KeyForge, and you still have that algorithm funness to it. I think we will see some people maybe exodus in that regard. For me, I will just be adopting a new game into my repertoire. Algorithm games, I believe, are the future of gaming. It's all I want to play moving forward. I do not want to play deck building games anymore. That's been my decision for quite some time. Now, that being said, that's my take on this whole situation. They obviously announced they have plans to work on an online client, which is also great. I think that's very positive. But let's move on to the announcement of a new set, which also is bringing, we had the reveal of which houses will be included. And the greatest reveal about this is that we are losing Untamed, Logos, and Shadows in this set, with Dis already gone. Those are the OG houses. That's, if you're playing Coda, that's what you played. It had all those. To a degree also in AOA, like you wanted to see the Shadows especially and Dis in that set. So it's really interesting that those are going to be gone now. It's going to make the game look completely different in some ways. Like, we're losing the cycle aspect, the efficiency of KeyForge and Logos. Is that going to be replaced with this new house? What's going to happen is, are other houses going to adopt that mantle to balance it out? It's so exciting. And I mean, also it's called Winds of Exchange, which we went from the sea, now we're going into the air, which I think is also quite an interesting thing to happen within the game of KeyForge. Makes me super excited to see. I just think it's going to be so cool to find out how shoes are going to be filled. I think getting to see Unfathomable come in and replace Dis, and how it came in as a disruption house, but in a very different way than Dis did, is a great kind of like teaser in a way. So I think it gives confidence that houses will evolve, new houses will come in, and they're going to take on roles in a different way, but complete that aspect of the game within a deck. And I just love that. And it's just going to create such interesting thing. I have no doubt, though, that people will hate this new set because of those things. I predict we will see people calling this the worst house or worst set as a result, because of the fact that we are losing Shadows, Untamed, and Logos. It's those three. People are diehard Logos fans, people are diehard Untamed fans, and also diehard Shadows fans. In fact, those might be my three favorite houses in Unfathomable when I think about it. Maybe I will replace Logos in Unfathomable with another house. Sometimes that one varies for me. But nonetheless, I think people will be kind of shell-shocked, especially when they first start playing the set, because I've noticed a trend when you first start playing a set. You have no idea what's going on. It takes literally like 2 or 3 months before you really understand. So I think people's initial reaction may be like, I don't like this, I don't want to play this, pump the brakes, I'm not a fan of this, I want the old stuff, which has been actually the case with almost every single set that's come out. So people, chill, all right? Get to know the set. Like, one of the greatest things about KeyForge is variety and discovery. If you get the same thing over and over again, just buy the old set. Like, if that's what you want, like, learn something new, expand your horizons with the game. Like, this is being done in, I think, a very responsible, well, actually, I could argue that maybe this set is less responsible, because you're taking out 3 houses that everyone loves right away, bringing back 2 that are also loved, but I don't think in the same way. It's a niche love. But I mean, why not? Let's do something new. It's going to provide great opportunity to try the game in a different way. We've played the game with this logo, Shadows, and Untamed. We know what that looks like. Let's see what the game looks like without it. Like, the sealed environment especially, I think, is just going to be such a rich environment with this new set. And I could not be more excited to see how it works. It's also got the word exchange, which kind of has a sort of I think the name is going to be really interesting, because exchange, like Winds of Exchange, so that's like a trade. Maybe there's going to be some sort of aspect in the game that requires like a bartering or, you know, trading. We're going to see something like that. I think it's really exciting that they're just going to be this new aspect in the game in that way. Like, maybe the tide won't be as present in this, but I'm sure it will be. I'm wondering, will there be like you know, the winds of exchange? Maybe there's like, I hope actually not, we're not stacking abilities like that where we have multiple cards, but who knows? Maybe the tide rotates out and a wind comes in. So if there's like a north wind, south wind, east west, or the wind is how's it go, when you're going headwind versus tailwind, that's the words I was looking for. Things like that may exist, I don't know, but it could be fun ways that we're enjoying the game in a different way. And variety is the spice of life. New things create new discoveries, new puzzles to solve. So keep that in mind as you move forward with the game. Do not get too stuck on the old. Allow the new to come in, embrace it, love it, take it in and play it. That is my news, or my take for this week. And I'm excited, okay? Boulevard Blake is excited. That's how I'm leaving with this. This year off, guess what? We're going to get to play a ton of KeyForge with decks we already have, and we get to discover further. We're gonna have so much community stuff happening. LGSs are starting to get back up again, and we're getting to enjoy that. So don't worry, we're getting to come together as a community again, which we lacked in the last 18 months. So embrace, get to know your friends again, get to know new friends, bring people into the fold, let them to discover the game as it is, take them down the journey you have gone through already. Guys, gals, everyone else in between, we got this. This is going to be a fantastic year coming up. I guarantee it. And I think us as the community are going to be the ones that make it so great. So just keep on keeping on, okay? No need to freak out. Now, onto the sale. So Folks, as you know, I've been able to provide the opportunity for the community to get decks on the cheap, and it does not stop. Guess what? AOA has been brought into the mix, and boy, do we have a sale now. So you can get 48 decks. This is going to be, they're taking from 2-player starters. I've got the inroads with the owner of the shop, and he understands the way we can take advantage of these and maximize the cost of number of decks versus shipping. So we are doing similar like we did with mass mutations, taking the decks out of the 2-player starters. They will be sealed, and we can fit 48 in a box, up to 48 decks, and it's going to be $200 shipped anywhere in Canada and the US. And guess what? We still have Worlds Collide displays, so you can throw those in as well. It kind of works 12 decks, 1 display. Count that towards the 48, but those will be sealed display for Worlds Collide. Again, up to 48 decks in a combination of displays or 12 packs from the AOA starter kits. $200 shipped Canada and the US. Plus, that's not all. We still got some Mass Mutation Deluxe Archon decks, and the price for those right now is $385 for a case. And that is shipped again in Canada and the US. And in that, you will be getting 72 decks. That is 6 displays worth. Works out to roughly around $5 a display-ish. So that's the current sales going on. If you're interested in taking advantage of that, please hit me up. You can email me at boulevardpaperfight@gmail.com. That's BLVD paperfight@gmail.com. I prefer actually going through Discord. So if you do have Discord and you can go that way, hit me up, Boulevard Blake. That's BLVD Blake, #3840. Hit me up if you would like any of this product. I know Ollie's came out and was kind of like, it's honestly a better deal at Ollie's, but that was, feel like there was so little that not everyone got to take advantage of that. So now AOA is in the mix within the products I have available for you to get. So hit me up. Let me know if you want any of that. There's a lot, so it won't sell out right away. There is a lot. So yeah, let me know if you're interested. And as always, folks, may your ember never be stolen and your keys forged promptly. Stay positive. Keep your head up, Archons. We got this.